Now, Eyewitness Sports with Elliot Polikoff.
Let's set one thing straight. The Central Connecticut State football team has been good for a while now, but not this good. These Blue Devils are a top 20 FCS team, undefeated in NEC play, and on the brink of setting a school record for most wins in a season. CCSU hosting St. Francis this afternoon, and it didn't take long for the Blue Devils to reach into their bag of tricks. Former Middletown star Tyshawn James with the wide receiver pass to Giovanni Pierre, but Central Connecticut State can't turn that drive into any points. Next offensive possession, though, Danley Exelone. He knows what to do with it from 4 yards out, 7-0 CCSU on top. 7-7 game in the second quarter. This time it's East Hartford native Keontae Lucas staying low and finding pay dirt. Blue Devils retake the lead 14-7. Fast forward to less than a minute to go in the game, though. CCSU down 31-28. Aaron Winchester trying to give the Blue Devils the lead, but he stopped just short of the goal line. Former Shelton Gale Joe Zoppi with a 19-yard field goal to send it into overtime. In OT, Aaron Winchester slinging a beautiful ball to former Kingswood Oxford standout Kyron Petaway. 38-31, CCSU on top. Last chance for St. Francis, and the Blue Devils making sure the Red Flash can't even get the throw off. A little nerve-wracking at the end, but ultimately another W for Central Connecticut State. They win it 38-31 in overtime, and their 9 wins have already tied a school record.
I think the big thing is we've been in this situation before. Fordham went down to the wire. Merrimack went down to the wire. We went out and played against Michigan, lost on the last play of the game. Our kids have been there, done that, and I think they're resilient. They showed great resolve today, and I don't think they ever feel like they're totally out of a football game, and I don't think they really care what the score is. They're going to keep playing to the end, and that's what we preach, and that's what we're getting right now.
What a finish out in New Britain, but in reality, Central Connecticut State won today before they even took the field. Michael Mushaw, a junior linebacker for the Blue Devils, and Mike donated bone marrow last year to try and save a young girl's life. Mike got to meet that young girl this weekend and see firsthand what a second chance of living looks like. Eleanor's about to turn 2 years old. She likes to dance, and she loves Central Connecticut State football.
I think we're the biggest Blue Devil fans in our town, maybe the only Blue Devil fans being from Virginia.
Her favorite player? That's easy.
All she could say was, Mike, 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 out of the windows.
When Mike Mushaw donated bone marrow to Eleanor last July, they didn't know each other, but they're making up for lost time.
We FaceTimed, we've called multiple times, almost every weekend.
But meeting someone face to face, that's different.
Finally being able to put my arms around him and just give him the biggest hug in the world and saying thank you was a very rewarding experience.
Physically getting to meet her, she's amazing. She's a little ball energy, she'll run around. She just puts a smile on everyone's face.
Mike knew he had to do something big to return the favor. Record the game-ending sack, that qualifies.
I was just pointing up there because that game was for her. That whole game, the whole drive, that last stop, everything was for her. She's an inspiration. She inspires me to take every day, not take it for granted, just keep going every day.
After the game, some more one-on-one time before the two head their separate ways.
Playing for them is probably been the best experience we've ever had on this field. She was a superstar this weekend. It's all about Eleanor.
And for Eleanor, it's all about being like Mike.
Such a cool moment to witness in person over there in New Britain. Elsewhere in Connecticut, a Nutmeg State showdown out in Hartford between Trinity and Wesleyan. 14-0 Wesleyan at the half. Cardinals looking for more earlier in the third quarter. Matthew Simcoe just bouncing off Trinity defenders, and that's a first down. And then it's the hero of last week's win over Williams, David Estevez. Good luck containing that guy. 11-yard score makes it 21-0, and it looks like the route is on in Hartford. But give credit to the Bantams. They battled back in this one. Jordan Vazano making things happen with his legs, but the former St. Joe star also doing damage through the air. A pretty deep ball, heaves it up for Kobe Schofer, and Schofer hauls it in for the 44-yard gain. That would lead to a Bantam score, but in the end, just too deep of a hole for Trinity to overcome. Wesleyan holds on for the 28-20 victory. They wrap up their year with an 8-1 record and sole possession of second place in the NESCAC. How about Yale?
another in-state squad that has been rolling all year long, up 17-14 late in the second quarter. Kurt Rawlings and JP Shofie connecting for their second time on the day, but those two were just getting started. Yale down a point in the third quarter. Rawlings lofting one deep for Mason Tipton, and what a grab by Tipton. Bulldogs retake the lead 34-28. But back to that Rawlings-Shofie connection. It was something special out in Providence, Rhode Island. Brown just had no answer for the seniors. There's Shofie's third touchdown catch of the day. Fourth quarter, there's his fourth, finished with 166 yards and 4 touchdowns. And yeah, I'd be a little sore too putting up those types of numbers. Yeah, with a season high 59 points. He was okay though, by the way. They win at 59-35. Big one coming up next weekend at Princeton. And it was always going to be an uphill climb for UConn this afternoon against Cincinnati, and that ended up being an understatement. Didn't take long for the Bearcats to score, and once they started, there was really no stopping. 41-0 Cincinnati in the fourth quarter. Make it stop. The only question now is, would UConn get on the board, period? And I really hope that Randy Edsall doesn't have something in his contract that pays him for avoiding the shutout. This one, ugly all around. Huskies lose 48-3. They got a bye next weekend before their last home game, November 23rd, against East Carolina. I don't want to end the Sportscast, though, on a negative note like that, though. So some good news. Mike, the Central Connecticut State player who donated bone marrow to Eleanor, he's going to be on ESPN on Friday, and they're going to highlight a Feel Good Friday segment. So it's cool to see that those two are getting a little national love.
Beautiful story.